But first of all, before I forget, I just want to talk very, very quickly about Marcus Rashford. So, Marcus Rashford, surprisingly, I did not expect this, is not in the England squad for the Euros. And this is not even the final squad. It will get cut down even more. So he's not even in the advanced, the bigger squad. So he's not going to the Euros, Marcus Rashford. I look back to October and a video that we did where it was something along the lines of what next, Marcus Rashford future in doubt. And as we know at the time, unfortunately, Rashford replied to us and said, stop spreading malicious rumours. Which was a bit of a shame because it was out of context. Like, what next on a thumbnail and Rashford future in doubt was because he wasn't playing well. And if he'd watched the video, it wasn't kick Rashford out the club. It wasn't Rashford's career's over. It was Rashford's not playing well. And I look back to those people at that time in October, and I was one of them saying, I'm worried about him because he's not playing well. And he hasn't been playing well since the Carabao Cup in February. Never at that point did I expect we would end up at this point. I always believed, and I said it in October, that he is going to switch on at some point. At some point, we're going to look back on this and go, look at what he's doing now. And unfortunately, from October, it's actually got worse. It's been a horrific season. And when you look at it, forget the Belfast stuff. That's irrelevant. You can have a night out. You can make a mistake. And if you're performing on the pitch, it's fine. So the reason I'm surprised is because Gareth Southgate is a manager of nepotism. He picks people regardless of form based on liking them and then being part of his group. Leaving Rashford out, I was really surprised because Rashford, I would have thought for Southgate, was one of his clique, one of the players that he likes and trusts. And I really thought he would take Rashford. And I thought he would take Rashford partly because the England setup is very much about man management. And I would have thought Southgate would be like, I know it's not going well at United, but England's a safe place and you can excel here. So I'm very surprised he hasn't taken him. Would I have taken Rashford? Look, he doesn't deserve to go. On pure form, he doesn't deserve to go. Anthony Gordon deserves to go. I haven't really looked at the squad properly. I know there's a bit of controversy about Jack Grealish, and I do get that. I mean, Grealish this season has been crap compared to last season, but he still played and delivered more in a Man City shirt than Rashford had in a Man United shirt. So I don't think you can say, well, why is Grealish going? Because I think he actually has delivered more for Man City this season, even though it's not been as good as last season for him as well. And maybe Grealish won't make the cut anyway. But I don't think Rashford deserves to go. But I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I would have took him. I would have took him for what I said to you a few weeks ago. I would have took Rashford because when I look at that England squad, I wouldn't start him. But in the last 20 minutes, he's just pure explosive pace. As a really niche sub option, he might give you something that no one else can. Like, he's explosively quick and might be good in a certain environment. So, and he played well in the World Cup. I mean, I know it was 2 years ago. So I would have took Rashford, but I think it's the right decision not to take him, is my stance. I would have took him as a manager because I like to look across my team and go, I've got my first 11 and then my squad is different options. You know, I don't want to take the same. And Rashford gives you something very different. So I would have took him as just a different option. I probably never would have played him, but I would have took him. From Man United's point of view, it's probably a good thing. I mean, I think many of us think Rashford should leave because it would be good for him. But I know that's not going to happen. So we have to get it into our mindset that Marcus Rashford will be a Man United player next season. So all this trauma, all this disappointment might actually play into our hands because basically after the FA Cup final, he's doing nothing. He's off on his holidays. Rest and recuperation mentality. Get out the country. Go to Dubai. Go to the States. Get somewhere where no one really knows who you are. Focus on you. You know, have a couple of weeks R&R. Go to Belfast. You know, legit. And then end of June, get yourself fit. Get yourself working hard. he's going to be there from day one at Carrington. Like, I would expect Rashford to hit the ground running next season. I think he'll have a good... I said it last week. I think Rashford will have a good season next season. Doesn't change the fact I think he should leave. I think for him, in a year or two, he'll have a bad year again and everyone will be on his back and he won't play well again. That's the sort of player he is. But I think next season could be the light on. Season after might be the light off again. But I think next season is looking like it could be a good season for him, which is beneficial for us. But I don't think the entourage around him is great. I don't think the noise around him is great. And I think a new start somewhere else where he's going to get embraced mentally and the club's going to embrace him as a new signing. I think PSG would be perfect for him, but I don't think he'll do it. Playboy says, my granny wanted to know if you're single, Mark. I am not. D-Gen says, I heard a rumour that Chelsea's signing Ted Lasso. That would be good. Nick James says, managers are looking to international jobs. Thank you very much. Okay. Right. Need to go for best for both parties, says Cal. And Mario Franco says, I haven't seen Rashi being quick once this season. And Megan Fox, because he's under contract at United, probably has clause in it about playing to Southgate. He doesn't deserve his place as Sally Devil Red 7. And with the current mental state before a break after today's news, I really hope Rashford does not start in the cup final, says Ray M. And Rashford has to be consistent next season. It's last chance saloon, says Louise. And M says, that's a bit of a hypocritical statement considering that's what Sancho has done. Got away from the bad environment and played well. Says M's. And yeah, well, this is what... look, I'm not sat here saying sell Rashford, get out, he's a load of shit. I'm saying he won't be sold. And next season, I think he'll have a good year. But we might be back here in a year or two. I personally think that it's a bit like Mason Greenwood. Some people say bring Mason Greenwood back, but they don't think about the mental well-being of Mason Greenwood back in England. It's not as simple as bringing Greenwood back and he might play well for Man United. You've also got to take into account the backlash there will be from United fans and the horrific backlash there will be from the media and every other club in the country. You can selfishly want Greenwood back, but there's a massive welfare issue for him and his family when he does come back. And you've got to bear that in mind. And with Rashford, you can want him to stay or you can want him to go. But also I think there is a massive thing for him where I think it would be good for him to go. Like Harry Kane going to Bayern Munich has been good for him because he needed a change of environment and very different thing. But I think a change of scenery would be great for Rashford. But I don't think he'll do it because, as I said to Ben Foster yesterday, brand Rashford is best served at Manchester United. Player Rashford might not be, but it's the brand around Rashford that seems to drive all the decisions. And he needs to focus on his football. With the breakdown in relationship between Marcus Rashford and Southgate, I think that definitely rules him out the job. Well, hopefully. I'd rather Mourinho than Poch. At least it'd be fun, says Shahin. And Zen says, I don't want Rashford to leave because it's good for him. I want him to leave because it's good for the club, where players aren't selected because of brand. Yeah, and it's interesting how we talk about that. I mean, Rashford should leave because it's good for him. That's what I'm saying. Why the club don't just say he's up for sale because it's right for the club is another matter, but I don't think they will. Goldbridge, that's the end of the clip. I'm sure you enjoyed it. In fact, I bet that's the best clip you've ever watched. So there's no reason not to subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon so you never miss a clip again. In fact, smash a like on the video because we all know only legends like videos and you are all legends. So please smash a like on the video and we will see you again on the next one. Thank you very much for watching as always.